Welcome to this Roll for Crit preview. Today we're going to jump right in with Jetpack Joyride. In this game is actually based off an app, which we actually played after we played this game, where you are trying to escape a lab with a jetpack.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't get much better than that, does it? This game is played in real time. So among everyone on the table, each player is going to have one of these setups with 4 cards. That is a grid-based setup. And you're going to be taking these pieces that kind of look like Tetris pieces, but
there's a name for like Tetroids or something?
Yeah, they're tetraminos.
Yes, that's it.
But these have more than 4 squares in them. And you're making a path through your lab to try to get out to the other side while both collecting coins and avoiding obstacles like missiles and lasers.
In addition, you are actually playing against the clock, in essence, other people, because there is a common pool of pieces and you'll all be at the same time, not taking turns, placing pieces, trying to reach the end and avoid the things. In addition, each round, you'll have 3 goals that everyone can complete. It's not first come, first serve. For example, it could be collect all the coins within an area or avoid the very top or bottom. So it may change your path. It's not just get to the end. It could also be, well, I want to try to make sure I hit the ceiling at least 10 squares or make sure I don't hit top or bottom at all.
Yeah, so every round you're changing up your play and maybe trying to decide, is it worth it for me to, try to avoid all the coins in this level because that's worth some stars, or maybe I'll be better off if I just try to get all the coins because they're worth points too. Once you complete a round, everyone's also going to get one of these gadget cards, and it's first come, first serve, starting with the player who scored the lowest on that turn, and these will really change up your game. They can do all kinds of crazy things.
Yes, for example, this gives you more points at the end for collecting coins, so a way to get more points. Some of them let you just ignore hazards, which can be really powerful. Some of them can just ruin your opponent, or some of them can be savior things, like this lets you place some pieces after someone has ended, or there's some that let you place pieces before everyone else. So definitely let you affect how you can play the game as things go on.
Yeah, like depending on what you get by that final round, you'll have 2 of these, I believe, at the end.
Yes.
So you might really have a very unique kind of strategy from typical game to game. Like I remember one time when I did it, I had a bunch of cards that were really helping me get coins. Coins were worth more points. It was easier for me to get them, so that was really my focus.
Right. In addition, you'll also be changing mats, so you won't be playing on the same one. So like, for example, this one, like, okay, I know the good path. You're like, nope, not anymore.
Yeah. So it's pretty chaotic, the game itself, but there is also a solo mode. So you can play this just as one person, and in that sense, it becomes much more of a puzzle type of experience where there is no time limit. You have fewer blocks to work with, but you are strictly working against yourself, trying to really think out the best path possible.
Right. When the first game was really just trying to make it as many points as you can before anyone else does, it really becomes that optimal path and trying to find out with getting the most bonuses and using the items that are given to you.
So this is a really goofy, light party game. Definitely very easy pick up and play. Anybody can figure it out and learn it. And it's one that I enjoyed the multiplayer part of it, but I kind of even liked the solo maybe a little bit more because I don't like being stressed out and I like not having to worry about other people, and that was a lot of fun on its own.
Well, what I really loved about it was the fact it wasn't just like, oh, it's a solo mode, but it's the same kind of thing with an AI controlling pieces in some games. Because you don't have the other players, it becomes really almost a different game. So you do get a lot more out of it.
Yeah, so that I loved that, and even I will say because I was a little worried about the multiplayer, but it actually I don't think is quite as stressful as I imagined it to be. To give the game some credit, I thought it was still fun enough, and that may depend on your group and what the
we did notice while the last one we played that whoever finished all the times did win, but it didn't seem like the other people were so far behind for finishing. It really was the items and knowing your strategy around.
Yeah, if one person gets out of the end, everyone else has to stop right away. So it is a bit of a race in that sense, but if you go too fast, then maybe you weren't as careful and you made a mistake, so you'll lose points, or you missed one of those. So there's kind of a balance between the two things.
Yeah, it does come to this score sheet where you can see some of the stuff. Jonathan actually is, I believe you won in solo. You got more points than me.
I have the highest solo score right now, 76. See if you can beat it at home.
We should mention that they do actually have a ranking system at the end too, so you can see how bad or good you did.
Yeah. And this is a prototype right here. Don't know exactly what or how much else will be added in the final Kickstarter, but that will be up right now, so you can check it out. But there's definitely some, I think, cool room for adding more different types of gadgets.
Yeah, and we should mention, by the way, small thing, but it is nice for replayability that because it goes up to 4 players. There's 4 for each of these tiles, 1, 2, 3, 4, and each of them are double-sided. So you don't always have to see the same pieces always around.
Yeah. And hey, maybe you want to try out the app version, maybe give you an idea of exactly what you're going to find in this game. Much more fast-paced and a little different.
Yeah, not the slow, methodical single player.
No, not that at all. But honestly, they did a pretty good job. Had I known it, I didn't know it was an app. So had I known, I probably would have been more skeptical going in. But afterwards, they did a pretty good job. I didn't sit down oh, this is just some game based on an app. That sounds like a bad idea usually to me. But no, I think they did a pretty good job. This is a fun party game. Maybe my only biggest complaint, this depends on who you're playing with, but I think it would be fun, and maybe they'll have a stretch goal or something to include more players. Because right now it goes up to 4, and this seems like a game that with 5 or 6, if they had balanced it right and added more pieces, even if you had just 2 copies of the game, you might be able to just kind of homebrew that. It could be really fun.
Yeah, they might look into that before we got our copy.
Yeah.
Another thing we forgot to mention as a pro, unlike the app, when you open the box, you don't have to watch an ad.
No ads, no microtransactions. This is it's a one-time purchase, no free to play here. So Jetpack Joyride, pretty fun game if you like a party game. It's kind of a dexterity game in a way, in real time, in terms of trying to grab the right pieces and such.
But maybe also looking for something that gives some good solo play as well.
Yeah, it can fit both of those needs. So check it out. That is on Kickstarter right now from Lucky Duck Games. And until next time, let us know in the comments if you're back in this game, or what you like, what you don't like. And I'll be Jonathan.
And I'll be Will.
And we'll blast off away from our labs from this Roll for Crit Kickstarter preview. Make sure you click the like and subscribe buttons so you get more board game content from Roll for Crit.
Do it. Do it now.